Welcome back, it's me Lou. Today is another vintage action figure flashback. We're featuring a couple of figs that I picked up recently. So last year when Hasbro released their Age of Apocalypse Cyclops and Sabretooth figures, I kind of passed up on them because as cool as they were, just seeing them in the stores made me feel really nostalgic for the original figures that we got from Toybiz way back in the day. So, I did some hunting on eBay, and I found these figures for pretty cheap, and I had to pull the trigger on them. It's something that I used to have in my collection back in the day, and I don't know, I'm just really right now just feeling the need to, like, revisit that period of time in my life, and I'm doing that through action figure collecting, which sounds weird, but, you know, I have so many fond memories attached to these action figures, and even though I do have them loose, there's just something about seeing them on the card that takes me back. It reminds me of like fonder memories when I'd go fig hunting with my best friend JC. This figure in particular, Cyclops, I remember way back in the day when this toy first came out. I don't remember if I found it at KB or Toys R Us, but it was during the winter and we were driving around my car, and I want to say I think JC might have opened the figure and he handed it off to me. And I was looking at the action figure and I almost drove my car off into a ditch. And we got a good laugh out of it, but it was kind of stupid. But it's just like stuff like that. You know, I think for me, there's something about the memories that I had during this time period that I'm very nostalgic for. And, you know, just seeing the figures mint on card, you know, really takes me back. It's just not enough to just have the figure itself, but, you know, just seeing the entire package as a whole. You know, so many fond memories of back in the day. And not only that, but I'm kind of burned out, truthfully, on some of, like, the modern action figures. Like, I know that, you know, the newer figs are a lot better. You know, there's more articulation. They're a much more premium product. But I think if you grew up during, you know, this time period, there's something very priceless about this quality of toy. You know, Toybiz had the Marvel license for such a long time. Toybiz kind of saved Marvel from bankruptcy, and there were just so many, like, superhero figures that you'd be able to find, like, at a KB, you know, whether it was a Spider-Man figure or an X-Men figure or the Fantastic Four, Ghost Rider, you know, the list goes on and on and on. And I don't know, these figures, there's just a piece of, like, action figure history. You know, they're kind of like a piece of my own history. And I think they're fantastic. Like I said in previous videos, you know, I'm just kind of amassing a small collection of carded figures, a little bit from each line. You know, I'm not shy about it. I really want to relive that part of my life, and I'm doing it vicariously through my toys. Alright, so what we have here is the Age of Apocalypse X-Men. This was a comic book event way back in the day. It was really cool. It was kind of a story about an alternate reality where the X-Men, led by Magneto, were battling against Apocalypse in a very dystopian future. You know, some of the big characters were like Cyclops, Sabretooth, you know, Wolverine, Rogue, Gambit, you know, the list goes on and on. But these two figures, I love the way they were re-envisioned for that event. Sabretooth was paired up with Wildchild. It came with this cool accessory. The box art's really nice. I believe this might have been illustrated by artist Joe Majuria. The back art's really cool. You know, there's Sabretooth. Brief bio on the character. Wonderful artwork. And then here are some of the other lines that were running. There was Age of Apocalypse, X-Men 2099. This figure is dated 1995. So this is way back. This came out during my freshman year of college. Yeah, here's Sabretooth. Really stoked to have him. There's a price tag up here too. This is from Hills. And originally this figure was priced at $5.97. You know, that's a huge difference compared to, like, you know, like the $19 you pay for like a Marvel Legends. You know, granted, those figures, they're a lot better. You know, there's more articulation, better paint application and whatnot. But for me, you know, toys need to be toys sometimes. And this is more toy than collectible. And it's awesome. Over here we have Cyclops, Cybernetic Guardian, and Laser Blaster. So there's the Cybernetic Guardian. There's his laser blast. And it attaches to this kind of, it's almost like a weird pistol or something right here. There's this appendage that attaches from his shoulder to his forearm. Cyclops is kind of cool. He has long hair. This is actually, so the character Cyclops from Age of Apocalypse, this is a figure that if you go to your local Target right now, all you'll see is this Age of Apocalypse Cyclops. For some reason, no one wants to buy that figure. On the back, nice portrait of Cyclops. Pretty cool bio on him. They display the play feature here. Yeah, really, really cool. Yeah, very excited to have these figures. And since we're on the subject of these characters and these wonderful toys, I actually have them loose on hand. So these are my original figures from way back in the day. And we can take a look at them real quick, just so we can check out their play features and their articulation. So over here we have Sabretooth. I love this figure when it first came out. He was a little bit bulkier than the other ones with the broad shoulders. He's not super articulated. You know, his arms rotate. His head rotates. And then his ponytail spin around. He's articulated at one of the elbows, not both, which I thought was kind of interesting. You know, a lot of weird design choices back in the day. You know, sometimes they made sense, a lot of times they didn't. He actually has thigh swivel, which is weird, considering that his ankles weren't articulated. So that was kind of odd. And then when his legs, like, he was always kind of in this, like, bow-legged stance. So regardless of how he positioned his legs, it always just kind of swing outward. And if you wanted to, I guess you have him sit down, like, with his legs crossed. Now, it's kind of neat because they gave us Wild Child as an accessory. As we see here, he's pretty much just a small, tiny statue. You know, he's not articulated at all. Has a plastic chain. And the chain wraps around Creed's forearm. So where Creed goes, you know, Wild Child follows. You know, a very dangerous, ferocious duo. And then over here we have Cyclops. I love this. I think this was my favorite figure in the line besides Age of Apocalypse Magneto. I just love the way he was kind of pre-posed. It was a very dynamic, heroic kind of like action pose. Again, very limited articulation. You know, it wasn't until much later when Toybiz released the original Marvel Legends line that, you know, articulation started getting really much more advanced and crazy. But for the couple of years that Toybiz had the license and when these figures came out, there was a vast improvement between, like, the original, like, first wave of Toybiz Marvel superheroes versus these. You know, the sculpting by the time we got to this era was a lot better. The articulation was improved. What was also nice is that they were actually employing real comic book artists to come up with the turnaround sketches for the action figures. So yeah, great figure. I'm missing the little blaster accessory here, and it came with this like guardian which it almost looks like a weird brain with an eye encapsulated inside of this like bubble dome. But yeah, wonderful figure. This is great. Like, even though there's the Marvel Legends ones that's out at stores right now, that's superposable and highly articulated. For me, you know, I got to grow up during this era, during the actual Age of Apocalypse when it first hit the comic books, and for me, it was very exciting for this toy line to come out. You know, I know that the new figures are so much better, but you know, there's something to be said about being able to, like, you know, revisit, you know, specific memories from that time period. Yeah, so this is great. I love these figures. They're so awesome. Alright, so let's wrap this video up. Enough traveling down memory lane. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you were like me and you came up during this time period, I hope this kind of took you back a little. You know, I see every now and then people like you know, especially like younger collectors, you know, they'll rip on the older toys. But if you didn't grow up during this time period, you don't really, you know, you're not really going to fully understand or get it. You know, there's something about these older toys that they have a certain charm to them. You know, the package design's always bright and flashy. And it's awesome. And I'm sure the people that are collecting toys today, you know, they'll have the same feelings for like this generation of toys as I do for, you know, this previous one. All right, with that being said, my name is Lou. If you are new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning viewer or subscriber, thank you so much for your continued likes, comments, and support. I greatly appreciate it. So until the next video, be safe, take care of yourself, buy lots of toys, and most importantly, be happy. And I will talk to you later.